Today we look at another key to success, learning how to commit. And then this podcast, we'll talk about one thing, commitment, how and why. Give a listen to the Rodney podcast. I seem to keep telling stories of when I was a food manager. That seems to be the topic of my intros a lot lately. And it's strange, like I said in my previous podcast, that once I started this job, I learned to enjoy it. And I decided that one day I'm going to own my own fast food place, or I want to manage a whole region, maybe a whole section of the continent, the country. And things went well for me. I was a shift manager, then I became an assistant, and I soon realized that I hated being an assistant manager. Couldn't stand it. And so I went to my district manager, my boss, and explained to him, look, I'm done being an assistant manager. I want to move on to my own store, my own restaurant. And he was surprised. He's wondering why I wanted to move up so quickly. He said, I just gave you this assistant manager position in January. And I think it was like summer when I was talking to him. And so from that, I didn't get promoted right away, but he tested me out because he moved me a few times. And so when he moved me to a store that was in a college town, which means I say that because it was hard to hire people. And then brand new, you would think college kids would just work with it. No, not this college town. It's kind of had money, let's say. And so they paired me and they took me here because there was a brand new manager to the entire company. And I remember at the time, those people, like, you either had it or you didn't. And if you weren't used to it, if you're retired, he was a retired cop. And he came in and this just needs to say, I ran the place. Everybody knew it. And so there was a falling out because I remember that we had a little discussion and he tried to blame me for a plan that I told him in the beginning what we would do. I told him we were going to invest. We'll lose some money, but we're going to invest in a few things and employees and invest in having a better service. But to do that, we needed to spend some labor dollars. And we did. But guess what happened to sales? They improved, right? But he blamed me saying that I spent too much money in labor. And even though we improved, that happened naturally because of the season, right? Yeah. So anyway, I made the certain phone calls and I moved again. And then after I moved into another restaurant, I remember that he had scheduled me, because there were 10-hour shifts, he had scheduled me from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, the worst shift because I could really not do anything. Took my entire evening and night, right? I mean, I could still go out after 11 p.m., but by then all my friends were already well into the night and I had to go home and shower and all of that. So didn't work. So I planned to leave. I had planned to leave the corporate side and join a private owner. And when they found out, they decided to make me an offer and I got what I wanted. And so I never reached my ultimate goal because, as some of you may know on previous podcasts, I did move on to different jobs. But that's not the point. You see, we don't always reach that goal that we have because we adjust our goals, right? But let's just focus on what today's topic is, and that's learning to commit. And that's what I did. I stayed and I learned to commit. So welcome to the Rodney podcast.
Hey, this is Chance. My IG tag is at Chance_AK_Billups. I've overcome addiction and changed my life. However, two things I'll never change is my love for God and the Rodney O podcast, where you can hear stories like mine and other relevant topics. Stay tuned. This is the Rodney O podcast.
Today's podcast is being recorded in February of 2019, and it's part of a daily month-long series titled Keys to Success. Today's key to success is about learning to commit. Now, I think most of you have heard my gym stories. How I was all in on doing it, and I had dreams of getting in better shape, getting some gains, right? And then not following through. And I think this happens to a lot of us. We set out with these goals of accomplishing something. We have these huge aspirations and goals. However, we never start. Or when we do start, we start with such a huge fire within us, but it quickly goes out and we flame out, right? We have a plan to achieve a goal or a dream, but then we don't commit to it 100%. I think one of the main reasons for this is our lack of understanding how hard it's going to be. Like my exercising, right? My fitness goals. You know, when I started, I thought it would be pretty easy. I knew there'd be some work, but I thought it'd be easy. I would certainly always make time for the gym. I'm going to go at this time every day. But I quickly realized that it wasn't easy. And it was going to take a lot of work on my part. You know, for me, this month of podcast has been a tremendous commitment on my part. You know, I want to make sure I finish all 28 days. And I considered this heavily when I made this goal. I considered the fact that, am I going to make it a daily podcast for a whole month, for 28 days? And yes, I did pick the shortest month for a reason. You know, I could have been scared of failure and never start. But I decided that I wanted to go for it. You know, I think this is a huge barrier for people to commit to things. They paralyze themselves with fear. They don't want to start. They already defeat themselves before they even give it a try. You know, sometimes we listen to other voices that tell us that what we're doing is stupid, what we're doing is dumb, that we should just stop and do something else. You know, the people that say that and tell you these things, usually they're people who have nothing going for them at all. They have nothing positive in their lives. You see, the point is this. Successful people put their dreams to work and commit to reaching their goals. When you go in all in, like my podcast, Run to Race, and then I just finished one the other day called Play to Win, you find quickly that you must do one thing to make these things happen. That's to commit. You know, if you reached a goal, if you reached your point, your goal, then yes, you did it. But if not, you're probably closer than you were before. And you're probably closer than that person who tells you what you're doing is dumb. You know, this is what I have as far as my attitude when I said I was going to reach and influence 10 million people in my lifetime. That's a lot of people. And people may say, like, you'll never reach that. They'll laugh. They'll say, oh, that's silly. What's wrong with you? Right? Go ahead and laugh at it. You know, I'll before I get to my keys and points to make sure you learn how to commit, to help you learn how to commit, I want to quote my favorite line from The Walking Dead. This has stayed with me all these seasons, right? And the line is this: they're going to feel stupid when they find out. That was a statement that was made at the end of one of the seasons. The season that happened, that escapes me. I'll let you interpret what that means. But let me leave you with some action items, some action steps to committing. Decide if your goals are really what you want. You know, before you decide to commit to something, is it something that you really want? Are you all in on it? You know, write a plan. Write a plan that's sustainable. I find it's easier to commit when you have some goals along the way, or you can see progress. That's why I'm a guy that likes reports a lot. I will look at some reports. Plus, I'm analytical. I'm an analytical person. So write a plan that's sustainable, and that helps you keep going to commit. And then number 3, find support systems, people, loved ones, the ones that are going to support you, but also be honest with you. You know, that's the key, right? Not just say you can do it, go for it, but you say, you know what? Why don't you try this, or why don't you tweak that? Celebrate benchmarks. Hey, I can celebrate 100 subscribers on Instagram. Hey, I can celebrate 1,000, right? Celebrate those benchmarks. It helps you keep going. And then have the mindset, you know, find support systems. A positive mindset, which is another podcast you can search for, is key, right? So hope that helps you guys learning how to commit. You know, as always, please feel free to dialogue with me. My YouTube channel, Rodney O, is available there, and it has a weekly vlog, the Rodney O Weekly, and that vlog will show you that I am living what I speak here on the podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to that channel. The link is in the podcast description, or you can simply go to YouTube and search Rodney O Weekly. Remember this: I want to inspire, encourage, and motivate all of you as we navigate this journey that we call life. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one.